Here.
Pearsall. Here. Hutton. Here. Mendoza.
Here.
McDonald.
Here.
Leahy. Here. Roswell.
Here. Baker, MSI.
Hello. My name is Tara Walters. For those of you who don't know me, I am a plumbing specialist with MSA, so I'm here to just provide some updates on some of the projects that we got going on. And if you have any questions, Connor's also here. We're happy to answer as much as we can. The wastewater treatment plant, we had submitted a grant application to, under the congressionally directed spending through Eric Sorensen's office. It is currently under review. I sent some correspondence earlier this week to the village. They're asking a few more questions about who the wastewater plant serves and whatnot to kind of try to fit it into whatever grant program they see it fits or is most competitive for. So that's good that they're reviewing it and it hasn't moved to the trash yet. Any questions on the treatment plant? Okay. The boat ramp, we are still waiting to hear. So the boat ramp project started back in probably 23. We applied for the BAD grant through through IDNR. The village was awarded the $200,000, as you remember. Once we were under design and working under that grant, we went to go bid the project. The costs have increased tremendously. I have the plans sheets here if anybody would like to look at what encompasses the design of the boat ramp and have some explanations of why the cost went up. I know last meeting we had some questions and I wasn't able to answer them, so happy to do that. Went up more than the $200,000 grant. So we asked DNR, hey, we don't have enough money right now to fund this construction project. Do we have some time to apply for other funding? So we went for DCEO's tourism grant for an additional $200,000, the max grant there. We're still waiting to hear on that. It was submitted, I think, May of last year, so it's been a year now.
Will that cover everything?
Close, maybe not. So a total of $400,000. I did look up what we're looking at for total project cost right now. We still have some wiggle room, so these are very much cost estimates. It'll probably be with construction, currently estimated at around $440,000. So it's already over your $400 that you'll get in grant money. We're working with switching some, and I can show you on the plan specs. We're working with switching some of the areas that we had slated for concrete to asphalt to try to reduce cost. There's also, we had designed it at like 8-inch concrete past the keyway, so when the flat part essentially before you start going down. We're looking to see if we can maybe reduce cost by making it 6-inch and what the engineers prefer there. I mean, that will cut some, it's not going to cut a ton. So construction at 440. Engineering, we're under contract right now for $47,000. That covers design, grant administration, topographic surveying, construction engineering. So once you actually bid the project and get into construction, as well as some site observation. And then landscaping, we had originally budgeted for $30,000. With these cost increases, we talked to the village and they said maybe you guys can cover that with volunteer work and whatnot. So the cost of that may reduce tremendously, but I'm still holding on to that $30,000 because that's what we had estimated in the original application. So we're at about $520,000. And that all depends on if we bid it, that the bids come in around cost estimates. We don't really know what contractors are going to bid it at.
So you need 120 from us?
Mm-hmm. Potentially, even if we get the tourism grant. Okay?
Not okay.
Not okay, yeah. Yeah, it all kind of transpires to there was a realignment, so the angle of the ramp is shifting 8 degrees downstream to help, that's supposed to help with sedimentation as well as make it easier, hypothetically make it easier for boats to get in and out. When we did that shift, it also kind of, the footprint of the ramp moved up, or, towards us a little bit. So there's a lot more removal of concrete and pavement and putting it back in. The BAD grant is ending this month. We've asked DNR for an extension, since we're still waiting to hear on the tourism grant. They have approved the extension. We just need to know if you guys are still wanting to keep the DNR money while we're kind of waiting on the tourism grant. But they'll need to know by the end of the month. I have the extension here if you want to sign it tonight. And if you have any questions.
What are your thoughts?
We can also get donations for this, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
We'll
Yeah.
get donations.
Yep.
I think we need to extend it.
Perfect. I have the extension letter that I can get Jack's signature on and submit that to DNR, and that gives us another year to kind of wait out this tourism grant. As soon as we hear that we have more, it's feasible to an extent, we can bid the project and move forward with construction.
So this started in 2023, so 3 years. When we agree on a price, and it takes 3 years from when we say yes to anything coming, even starting, of course, costs are going up. Why did it take 3 years to do essentially nothing?
It takes about a year for DNR to review the grant applications. So once we got the grant application, we went into design. That took 8 months to design, so we're at over a year and a half there. And then we've kind of been stuck in this, costs are too high, we can't do the project, what do we do? We've been stuck in that for months now. And now we've been waiting for a year on the tourism grant. So there's 2.5 years right there.
So where does this money come from?
I think we should hold on to it. We can check in to see about getting donations, and then if we can't, then
Change our mind later.
I just don't think we should let it go and I think there is potential to get grant, or get donations.
Yep, and I've contacted all state agencies asking if you have any money, any programs that this would even align with. I haven't gotten a ton of response. I was going to offer this project up as a Sorensen project, but then the wastewater treatment plant kind of took some precedent.
And that's
It's
priority.
a lot more expensive.
And when are we gonna start?
It's when tourism tells us we have money and you guys want to go ahead, we'll bid the project. That takes about 3 or 4 months. We'll award a contract and they can start construction this summer.
Pushing 4 years.
It's either that or we don't do anything because we don't have $400,000 in
Yeah, we
grant.
have to have that 400,000 before we can even think about.
Red tape hoops.
Funding's not fun. It's a little misleading in the name.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
Just for your information, I know it was asked last meeting, what would the village be out if you guys just said, no way, Jose? You've paid MSA for the design of the boat ramp, the way that we have it designed right now, $28,200. So that's money that you received from IDNR, the BAD grant. If you said, we're done, you'd have to give that back and you'd be out the $28,000. However, these designs are yours. You can take them, reconsider it in the future. It's your boat ramp. So.
Do you think it's a good possibility that we'll get this other 200,000? What's your gut tell you?
My gut tells me that when I've talked to them, they said that they're still looking at it and reviewing it. That always similar to the Sorensen money, that means it made the first swath, so that's good. but I have no idea how many applications they receive statewide. You know, we pled our case with all the fishing tournaments and the traffic and the economic impact that, you know, the marina and the boat ramp bring in. I think it's a good win. I'm just hoping they don't get us on a stupid technicality or something.
Well, I guess we're not up anything, so. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you guys the amendment for signature. The other project is the downtown streetscape project. I talked to Jason and Jared. They have submitted the contracts to IDOT, and until IDOT authorizes those contracts and makes sure all the language is in there, we shouldn't move forward on anything, because it won't be reimbursable. So we're just kind of waiting on IDOT at this point. As soon as IDOT authorizes, we can get the survey team out here. Survey team is usually backed up probably a month. So if they authorize tomorrow, we could probably get survey out here in a month. Okay? And then the last update, I don't know how I'm on your GATA audit review. Did you guys get the correspondence from Gina Wells from the auditor's office?
Nothing on that one.
Okay.
Yes, we did that.
We did. Okay. I
For
have,
some
yeah,
reason I got it.
I brought the copy.
Because Deanne was,
Essentially, it just says some of the audit-related items that need to be completed in GATA. They were due in October of last year. You guys approved your last audit, last meeting, right?
Yes,
Your
we
financial
just
report?
did that,
Yep,
yeah.
perfect. If you need help with that in GATA, I'm happy to help. I help a lot of communities with it. It's
did you send it to the
cumbersome.
office? Yes.
So even though your audit's at the comptrollers, you still have to get into GATA and pretty much duplicate the information that was on there.
You want this and make it. Let's see.
So if you need help with it, let me know. I will say we should probably, it's a bit of a priority because they probably won't process this DNR amendment until your GATA is green. Does that make sense? Good, okay.
We're gonna tomorrow.
Perfect. I'm free all day tomorrow if you want to give me a call. And then I have the plan sheets here if anybody wants to look at them for the book grant.
You want to just leave them here?
Yeah. And could you pass this to me? Sorry.
Nothing has changed on that, right?
You can do that, Chair. No, nothing has changed since we last gave you the plans. They'll change if we move that concrete to concrete to asphalt and your cement room, but the alignment, the cushion, what are they called? Couldn't think of the name last time. The precast panels. The precast panels, they're all in there.
Which actually has a name.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Please?
Yeah, so we thought we were gonna lose, there's a possibility that we would lose the part-time officer, we're not. And I actually found someone else today that wants to work part-time as well. So that topic is taken care of. We are gonna have a car and side-by-side registration here on April 18th and May 2nd from 9 to 1. Tickets or stickers are $35. Everybody that has one knows I just have to do an inspection and make sure all your equipment is functioning. I do just want to bring up that the ordinance violation for operating without one or with an expired one is a minimum $100 ordinance citation. And the second violation is an automatic 3-year revocation from driving any non-highway vehicles in the village. communications. And, yeah, that's it, that's all I have.
If somebody can't make it and makes arrangements with you.
Correct, I've already,
Okay, that-
yeah, I've already done some already this year. Just show up or call and make an appointment, and I can do it any day, Monday through Friday, during the week at any time, so.
April 18th and May 2nd, 9 AM to 1 PM.
Maintenance, do you have anything?
Not right now. I will have some training things at the next meeting. The University of Illinois Extension has opened back up their pesticide spraying testing. And actually, you can have the test proctored online this year, which is nice. So no one will have to drive to Cal for a quick test. So I'll have to get my applicator's license, and then the guys under me will have to get an operator's license. Or the other way around.
When did you say that was?
Next, technically I have to bring anything to you guys that's training.
Okay,
So it just didn't make the cut this week.
okay.
But yeah, next meeting I will have all the numbers for you, and also my Class 2 short schooling test
Okay.
in Peoria will be coming up first week of June, and I'll have numbers for you guys
Okay.
next meeting as well.
That it?
That's it for me right now. Unless you guys want to straw poll real quick, the applicator's license, and then I can get all of my guys, me and my guys.
Do you know what the price was?
It's very reasonable. It's like $40 for each class. I think you gotta do 2 of them, and then the test is.
And we have to have it, so.
Do we have to have 3 though?
If they're going to-
If they're gonna spray.
Yeah, if
then
they're gonna
they
spray,
need
they'll have to.
So our summer help, technically, they can't spray unless they actually take the test. And
I'm good with it.
I'm gonna look at it.
you too. Okay. I'll get that set up. And then I'll have hard numbers for you on the other, down the short school in Peoria.
Is that water or sewer?
That is sewer, and that'll be my last license that I need to
Okay.
get Dan off
Okay.
as a contractor.
Discuss and take action on MSA professional service agreement for wastewater plant treatment facility.
I think we gotta do it. We gotta move forward. The longer we drag our feet, the more costly, as you see with the other one, that's gonna get, and
Aaron, did you
So-
come up with a contract?
I'm real motion for it. We just need to get engaged in this design contract so we don't miss out. Just,
No, I mean, if we don't get a loan,
oh,
then we have to put a pause or a pin in it.
Tara, what did you say about that?
What was the question,
We
sorry?
enter into a design contract
Yes.
and the loan does not come through. Where do we sit?
You said you spent money on design, same with the boat grant.
Okay.
But we wouldn't have to pay you a monthly fee anymore then.
No, no, once the design is done, it's yours. If you get the loan will reimburse you for any design fees that you've paid in the past, in the past. If you don't get the loan, we can always try the next year. I mean, you can sit on the design fees for up to 4 years, as long as your PER, your facility plan that they pulled together is valid. So all the costs that they did to pull the facility plan together are loan eligible, as well as the design costs. And you can keep applying for a loan.
And the deadline for the SRF grant is March 31st of 2027, right?
Yep.
We got 8 months in this design and they're still working on it. So I mean, if we don't make that deadline, we lose out on $4.1 million.
When did the monthly payment start?
They would, a month from now, as soon as you sign the contract, they'll start design and you'll get, we try to invoice monthly just to keep it consistent.
So do we have $85,000 to spend a month?
A month?
Well, isn't it monthly payments that we have to make?
Yeah.
And what is a monthly payment?
I have no idea. It's typically how much work we put into it.
It's work-based, it's how much
Percentage.
time, yeah, percent complete of the project.
So we don't know how much the payment would be.
Correct.
Is it gonna be $85,000 a month?
I don't know. I know.
That would push us off really hard.
Yeah, that would be like, no, we can.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
And
Like I said-
MSA is understanding to the village's financial situation.
Right.
I mean, they're on all of our invoices, it says if you don't pay it in so many days, you're gonna be charged interest and yada, yada, yada. I haven't worked on, keep this off the record, I haven't worked on an MSA project where we've actually started accruing interest on anybody. As long as there's a justification and we're working to get things figured out, you know what I mean. We're not going to completely stop the project as long as we know that we're gonna get paid eventually.
Well, I was just gonna say,
When will we know how much our monthly bill will be? By tomorrow? Can somebody tell us by tomorrow?
No, it's percent complete, so how many hours Connor spends on it in the month of April, we'll charge you for how many hours he spent on it in the month of April, and you'll get that bill in June, or May.
May.
That money would come out of the sewer, right? Do we have money in sewer for that?
Yes.
We do.
No, I mean, we don't have $85,000 a month in there.
How much is in there?
And the new budget is coming up. We have
See if I can find it.
My thought process is they got 8 months in the boat ramp, and it's not done yet for design. If they don't get this done, we miss the SRF grant. It's $4.1 million to lose out on.
And what if Eric Sorensen doesn't get reelected?
I mean, that's just kind of.
Well, I think we can still get that money, I mean, right?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that matters,
Yeah, that,
because that might happen, but,
yeah, that's a shot in the dark. I mean, Eric Sorensen and his entire district is gonna pick 15 projects that he likes to submit to the federal committee, to the appropriations committee, and then the appropriations committee writes it. So, we probably won't hear on the Sorensen money for another year anyways.
seriously?
Yeah. They just announced the last year's congressionally directed spending about 2 months ago.
Chuck, Kevin?
I just don't know how you would agree to something when you don't know what the payment is.
But you're not gonna know what the payment is because it's based on the amount of work you guys do, right?
Right, if we didn't do any work, if you asked us to not do any work for a month, obviously it's gonna delay the project, but we're not gonna invoice you for that.
We have approximately $360,000 in reserves right now. In the sewer-
360?
In the sewer fund.
And what else is that needed for? Is that just needed for these payments?
That's reserves.
To keep it going?
That's reserves. So that, I mean, the idea is, I think, when we start doing our rate increase, sooner rather than later, that takes a little bit of the impact so that we're not increasing everyone's sewer bills by $75 when the actual principal on a loan comes due. If you read my email that I sent, what, 6 weeks ago now? If we do my plan of raising sewer rates right in, starting January 1st of 2027, we will have about $870,000 in reserves then, and then we can take that impact and we'll start paying that. We will run at a deficit for a couple of years, but we're starting to build those reserves now to avoid the rate shock of everyone
Well, the
all of a sudden.
The problem being with that is our water losing every month, and Bill Shirk sat right there and said, we can't do this. So,
We're running very lean in every department. We were budgeted to be about 15 grand in a deficit for the sewer fund this year, and we're running at about 30,000 surplus. That's good. Water could use some work. We passed the ordinance that's a step in the right direction. My projected budget for the water fund next year shows about $15,000 deficit. And if we keep watching our P's and Q's, which we have been, we'll be in surplus next year.
Carrie, Chuck, we gotta make this decision as a whole.
I can't.
What are you talking about, the MSA contract?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna lose for another year if we don't sign it by the end of this month.
Just don't.
And then it's
I
gonna
just
go
don't
up
know
by that
how much
much.
She
more
said
how much more
2027.
info can be provided as a board to make this decision moving forward.
It would've been nice to know if we knew how much our monthly payment was.
But we won't, because it's based on their work, correct?
So
whatever
it
you guys
changes
vote,
every month?
It could be a different number depending on what they're doing for work, so.
You could take the contract value and divide by 12, because it'll take 12 months to complete the design, and that will be your average monthly bill.
Be on it there, Stumpy?
You said it's a billable by hours?
Yeah.
Well, let's ask the question the other way. What is it per hour then?
It depends who's working on it.
So
So,
let's say he's working on it.
what is your rate?
I believe my rate, I should know that.
I think it's like 165? 165 an hour, but if somebody under Connor was working on it, it could be 125 an hour. If I'm working on it, it could be 185 an hour.
What is it, Teresa?
Well, how many hours it, 165 times 40 is 6,600. But it, Tara's 185, you said, Tara?
Yeah. Which I'm not an engineer, I'm not gonna make the finance, so
Okay.
I won't be working
So,
on it.
like I said, I don't know. It's gonna vary and it's a lot of money.
I mean, it's a lot of money, but here we are, we're sitting here with a sewer plant that can go to crap, no pun intended. And we gotta do what we gotta do for the residents.
We set our hours. We just want you to do 4 hours today and 4 hours next week. You can do that.
But then we're not gonna get it done.
Well, let's do 8 hours then. Can we set our hours with it?
I mean,
I can't promise, we can't promise that it's gonna be done in 12 months if that's the case. I think it ebbs and flows depending on what piece of the design they're working on. Some are heavier than others.
Well, let's do it, and if we can't afford it, we're gonna have to put a pin in it.
Just straw poll? Just whatever.
It's on the agenda, I wrote it up, it's on the agenda, we can vote on it.
What's gonna cost, keep putting it off?
So let me just get this straight. Connor's top, correct?
No.
Top,
there's, you've met Clint before.
yes.
He's our senior.
I'm saying rate-wise.
Yes, rate-wise. He's
Okay.
a higher rate. Sarah is also a higher rate. She's my boss.
Are you gonna
Okay.
be working 40 hours a week,
Some weeks I'll be working
every week?
completely dedicated to this project. Some weeks I'll be working a little bit on this project, a little bit on other projects.
So
But you guys
the
are-
math is, I just want to say real quick, Aaron, I'm sorry.
You're good, no, go ahead.
The math is if Connor at his rate is working for 40 hours a week, that's $28,600 a month.
But I'm
That's
not gonna be-
$343,200 a year. It is something to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Obviously, and I know it's just like-
so we have to get the interim financing done. Is it an accurate statement to say you guys wouldn't really do anything with this until the interim financing comes through?
No, we can start the design immediately.
Because we're gonna pay for it no matter what.
Whenever we're under contract, we can begin the design. We can work with you on putting out the billing in a way that you are able to pay and not like blow through all of your reserves. We're aware of your financial situation. Ultimately, whether I work 40 hours or 60 hours or 10 hours, the contract value is predetermined. So the total payment amount, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of how much is going to be right away within the first 3 months, or if you want to delay, increase your rates, build up your reserves a little bit, then we can put them, hammer down 3 months from now and do 60-hour weeks, whatever it may be. Or we could just delay the payment. There's ultimately just the number on the contract value is what it's gonna cost.
And what's the number on the contract value again?
$1,045,000.
And that amount is included in the overall cost, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jeff?
I hate to lose it, but, we can't wait any longer.
What are the brass tacks of facts here? We need the sewer plant.
Yeah,
If we don't get this design done, we lose, what is it, Tara, $4.1 million? You know, this project 10 years ago would have cost us a third of what it's costing us now.
It's right around 4 million.
I mean, I don't know how much more information we can be presented as a board before we decide to do this or not do it. I mean, I got a motion, and you guys can vote however. I just feel like we need to get this done before the 31st. And this is the last meeting we have before that to allow us the full year that they're asking for. I mean, we got 8 months in the marina. I'm a what if guy. What if we don't? And what if we lose $4.1 million?
Yeah, I hate to lose both of them.
If we have the money, I mean, this isn't my decision. Like I said, I don't.
If we have money, is what you just said,
Well,
and that's the thing, we don't, so.
We're in a strong financial position, let me put it that way, if we want to go for an SRF loan, even for interim financing. That's a decent amount in there. It's over 1 fiscal year operating costs in reserves. We're operating at a surplus. And then on the other side of that, $83,337.08 a month is something to consider. But if they can work with us on keeping our reserves where they are, we need to get these rates raised. I know the ordinance was passed, but until we actually raise them, we're running lean. And when I say we're running lean, we're making sacrifices and keeping things together instead of making capital improvements.
When was the raising the sewer rate supposed to start?
Then we have to post it and then it'll.
So a couple months?
Has to be published 10 days
We have to
before you
publish
raise
it,
rates.
then we can do it.
These are what your thoughts.
I'm gonna,
We'll put it in, if it passes, it
I was
passes.
gonna say, it doesn't matter, don't blame it on me, I mean.
I have a motion by Mendoza to agree to design contract with MSA Professional Services for a new wastewater treatment plant. Do I have a second?
I should read for design. Did it? Okay.
When do they think the sewer plant will be done?
Yes.
Hutton,
4 years.
No.
Brazel,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Motion carried. Discuss to take action to hire Julie Bird for billing clerk, deputy clerk, and FOIA officer.
I'd like to go into closed session on that one. I'd like to go into closed session. I have her here, I think we just all need to talk to her.
Okay. Accept Nicole, discuss take action, accept Nicole Clean's resignation effective immediately, and also accept Jackie Tegler's resignation effective immediately. Have a motion by Purcell to accept Nicole Clean's resignation effective 3/16/23, 26. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Motion carried. Have a motion by Purcell to accept Jackie Tegler's resignation effective immediately. Do I have a second?
Second.
McDonald,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Motion carried. Have a motion by Purcell to approve March 2nd regular meeting minutes. Second.
I'll second.
Leahy, Mendoza,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Motion carried. Have a motion by Purcell to approve March 2nd closed session meeting. Second.
I'll second.
Leahy,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Have a motion by Purcell to approve to donate $300 to the Albany Easter egg hunt. Second.
I'll second.
Hutton,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Brazel.
Yes.
Motion carried. Have a motion by Purcell to accept March 12th meeting, special meeting minutes. Second.
I'll second.
Leahy,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Have a motion by Purcell to approve closed session special meeting minutes for March 12th. Second.
I'll second it.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Pearsall,
Yes.
Leahy,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
Brazel,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Motion carried.
That's all for me. For the platinum contract, they called
Yeah.
today. I looked up at speakers and didn't see them on there, so I told them that they weren't on the agenda, which I didn't look down far enough. That's my fault. But they're gonna come in on the 27th and talk to Janet and Jack and I, or whoever, if I don't have to be here, somebody else can be, to give us what they had already talked to Jackie about. And then they'll be at the next meeting.
Is that just for these, or is that for cameras, or what are they talking?
Platinum's a computer, so
Oh, the computer. Okay.
the IT computer, yeah.
Building permit.
lot of numbers.
Finance budget officer.
They're for Code Red. We had a all-town power outage the other day, and it wasn't ours, it was actually, I mean, it affected us, of course, but it was on the outside of town. And I just kind of thought everybody knew they didn't have power, and it was kind of a fiasco with people wanting Code Red. And I just think we need to come up with a policy and procedures on what we want out and who's putting them out, and have a protocol as to who's going to put them out and different notifications. I know right now Nick and I can do it. So is it something, if he's going to do it, or I just think we need a policy in place. So everybody kind of wants to think about what you think should be. And I guess on the other hand, I can understand that knowing something, which would have been nothing anyway, but, so if you all want to think about that, and we can come up with a policy and maybe have it ready by the next meeting. The CDs. So, being over the finance and having Janet around, I did talk to Janet, and I said, what do we do with CDs? Do we look for better rates? And she told me, yes, we do. So Jackie and I called around to the banks. We called the Albany Bank. The first 5, they would not work with us. They would not raise their rates for us. We're here as a business, and we need to make money for our residents. Just like, I know the banks in town, but their rates and whatever, they're making money for their shareholders. And we need to look out for our people. It's just like we don't purchase all of our gas from Shell, even though we have many cars and they're a business in town. So I have this if anybody wants to see. It shows the receipt taken out of the bank, the receipt going into the other bank. If you want to know the percentages, I can run them off for you and show you. 5,000, there's a check was taken out of one of them, was the unemployment, and needed to go back into it because the unemployment was in the hole. I know the monies don't mingle. They have their own departments and their sections, and that's where they go. So if anybody has any questions on it, I've been called Rita Cronwell over this, so if anybody has any questions, please bring it up now. If you don't understand it, come to me, whatever. Also, I put in your boxes a notice from Locust. That would be outsourcing the treasurer's position, what they would be willing to do. So we'd still have to have somebody here full-time doing, like entering things and taking payments, putting stuff in the computers. I'd just like everybody to go over this and look at it before we decide if we want to hire a treasurer or if we want to go with something like this.
So we can do what Erie and Port Byron do too, right?
I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. I haven't talked to them. But we have options. And I think it's, at this point, I think we need to look into it because what we've been doing for 5 years has not been working.
I think it makes sense because you're not going to pay a treasurer 40 hours a week to do what the billing clerk does when she's here. So a good portion of the time, she's doing that stuff, not treasurer stuff. So I think if we have a billing clerk here full-time, outsource the treasurer, we're better off.
It would just, we need to find out all the things that they have to do. Is this gonna cover everything and the billing clerk can cover the rest?
Okay.
You know, I just, so please look at that and call, share, whatever, and let's come up with a plan.
Okay. You haven't been able to figure out how to put it on Indeed or?
No, I could not find that in the computer.
Okay.
With Janet here, maybe she'll be able to find it in the computer.
Or you can call Whiteside
Yeah.
Sheriff's Office,
Yeah.
yes, they told us how to do it last time.
Yeah, I can get a hold of them too. So the billing clerk hours also, I guess we can discuss that.
Well, if we're gonna outsource, they'd be.
Right, and we don't know, I mean, honestly, right now, outsourcing is not an idea. With Janet here, we've been going through things, and I think we need to get things straightened out and work
Before we outsource.
before we do
Well, we
anything.
have to.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna go, you're gonna miss.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, we need to give Janet temporary authorization for banking.
When did this get changed,
What?
the agenda?
I put
Monday
it,
afternoon.
This wasn't on
no,
my
I posted,
agenda.
yeah, I posted it at 10:45.
And then I.
And then you
posted
posted
it again.
Okay, well, I didn't get it on my phone, is what I'm saying.
No, I just posted. I didn't resend it because it was late. It's a late decision. I didn't send it back out to you guys. I just reposted it to them and put it in here.
I like to do our payroll and any of that stuff. We gotta get her on there.
Oh, I get it, I just, it
And
wasn't on there.
IMRF, we gotta get her on there so she's able to do things. And so that's,
Have a motion by Casal to give Janet Price authorization to be put on Village of Albany account at Clock Tower Bank. Do I have a second?
Second.
Leahy,
Yes.
Griswold,
yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Hutton,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Motion carried. Tim?
Well done.
Well, we have to say something about her.
So are you gonna put the, like, the IMRF on the next agenda?
We gotta call into them right now and the IMRF, we need to get her on there.
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, okay. I just didn't know.
can we straw poll that to do it for the next agenda and put her on? Because she's gotta do it. We've got,
That's the way to,
things really have to get done.
I support.
well, I think it's better if we do that than do nothing.
Yeah.
We'll do. So,
I mean, I'm fine with it, but
everybody else, are you guys okay with it?
Yes.
And then we'll put it on the next agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have.
Utilities?
That's me. Okay, good news, this one probably will not cost the village anything. I don't know if any of you have walked Main Street on here, but I probably brought this up in December, but there's a lot of wires hanging down from the utility poles. It looks like it appears to be foam. Did everybody notice that? They're everywhere on there. And if we can get, I believe it is Frontier, to come and either roll them back up or disconnect them or get them so they're not flopping around, so they don't come
Are
in
they all
contact.
phone? They're not, nothing's like cable?
Could be, some of them could be cable, but there's quite a few of them on here, and it doesn't take much for something high wind, it'll blow it up to contact and energize something, and someone bump into it.
We have a wire coming down across the road a while back, and one of the power wire was a phone line.
Yeah.
I think that was down here before. So I will call him tomorrow.
I tried calling Frontier, but you actually need an account number, so have that account number with you.
I'll be here
In
tomorrow.
other words, it's just click, it'll just go around.
Anything else, Chuck?
No, that's it.
Streets and alleys?
Anything?
Cemeteries and parks?
did anyone take a look at the handbook?
I got that that I have.
About halfway through.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it on for next time.
I tried, I didn't get all the way through.
That's fine. And then these other two we'll just leave on because I need Shirk's help for these, so. There's no sense of talking about them tonight without him, so. If you would leave all of my stuff on for next time, thank you.
Ordinance?
I don't know if you looked, but we did get a note that animal control does not come out at night anymore after hours. They're not gonna do that. Did you see that?
I don't know, they came out at all.
I gave it to him.
Yeah, right. Well, just an FYI. Okay.
Did Shirk send you that thing, or did Shirk send you the ordinance that we have for tax?
Visitors, Jason Hausengate,
I'll pass.
Floyd Boston,
Thank you, Jack.
you're welcome.
I would like to address the decision to move nearly $500,000 of village funds from our longtime local bank to an out-of-town bank without any board discussion, without any board vote, and without any public notice. The last meeting, the budget officer justified this by saying the village would earn an additional $2,700 in interest. But when we look at the actual financial record, that number does not come close to offsetting the losses, the waste, and the risk this village has already absorbed under the same decision maker. Start with our local bank. In late 2020 and early 2021, the assistant treasurer had more than $7,000 of village checks bounce. Any other bank would have charged hundreds of dollars in penalties. Our local bank honored the checks, charged one $30 fee, and waived the rest. They also routinely waived early withdrawal penalties on CDs whenever the village needed access to funds. That relationship has saved the village far more than $2,700. Now look at the spending decisions made by the same individual who moved these funds. In 2024, she ordered nearly $1,700 of playground mulch for the park, but more than 2/3 of it was never used, resulting in about $1,200 worth of new mulch getting hauled to the cemetery, where it has been rotting ever since. Also in 2024, more than $4,300 of taxpayer money was spent digging a trench at Nate Schroeder Field to install new lights. That money was spent without board approval. While I appreciate that it was done to try to save the village some money on installation costs, according to the contractor, the trench was dug incorrectly, resulting in the taxpayers paying about $4,300 to reduce the installation cost by $41.37. A net loss of about $4,300. And now nearly $500,000 has moved out of the bank that repeatedly protected this village financially, moved without board authorization and without public discussion. We are being told this was done to gain $2,700, while the same decision maker has already overseen thousands more in waste. There are numerous other examples of taxpayer money being wasted, but the mayor's newly enforced time limit prevents me from going over them in detail. That alone should concern every resident who expects transparency. This is not about personalities. This is about patterns of judgment, patterns of bypassing procedure, and patterns of exposing the village to unnecessary financial risk. The public deserves to know why this was done, what analysis, if any, was performed, and why the board was excluded. I'm asking the board to review what happened and take steps to ensure that all future financial decisions follow proper process. With that said, if this was a business, we'd already be out of business. Thank you, Jack.
Welcome, Floyd. Julie Rowland.
As tempting as it is to spew about the person that just, taking home the police chief's phone and downloading all the contents onto his personal devices, and all the other illegal things he did when he was in office, I'm going to pass on that. And I'm just going to say that I was very uplifted when Gloria and I went through town getting signatures for the letters for the grant. Jack, I know you stayed late with your wife to do it. I know Beanie got people to sign. Gloria and I got a lot of good comments from people in town. And if we could just ignore the poor sportsmanship of people that did not win, the people have spoke what they want to get rid of all the crap, the Rita Cromwell crap, the slandering because somebody put their application in that they don't like. We got to move beyond all that crap and start working together again. And I just hope that when you guys make decisions about hiring or whatever it is, you do it because it's something you decided and not because you were being bullied by the resident town clown. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to you and Gloria for going out and doing that.
Well, that was no problem. We actually had fun.
Kelly Reed,
Thank you. First of all, I am glad that you addressed Code Red because I was curious as to why we weren't getting any notifications last week during the power.
Now that you brought that up, I will say that it was not, Code Red didn't have us added in for the weather. It was, and then when it went down, they didn't add it back in, nor did the office. That's why we weren't getting weather alerts. So I just, as long as you brought that up, I wanted to get that out there.
Okay. So my next concern would be, as a taxpayer, resident of Albany, would have to do with the moving of the CDs. Moving it from the bank, so as you may know or don't know, I work at a bank. I found it curious that the board wouldn't have been informed. And I would want to know from each of you how you would feel about that. Had you been informed, would you have agreed to move that from our local bank?
Pam asked me about it, and my answer to her was, I don't know enough about CDs to give my input.
Chuck?
I'd go for the highest rate. You could always move it back.
Gary?
How long are the CDs for?
10 months.
That's pretty quick.
Tim?
I would have to agree, I'd like to know, how much we earn on it and how long they are.
Jack? Jack?
She asked you your opinion.
What would your opinion be on moving, had you known in prior, would you have agreed to move the CDs?
I agree with it.
And I think you were notified. I think you were in on the know.
Okay. So my next question would be on that. I know in our institution, when you do that, and you go and you open your new customer, there are things that we would demand. We would demand your tax identification number. We would demand your proof of business or your business resolution or, that of the board. We would want IDs on all authorized users that would be coming, but we would also demand board minutes.
It's not board. The board does not have to approve of it.
And I'm not saying that, but the bank itself requests that. So did the new bank did not request
They
it?
requested everything else, but they didn't need board minutes.
That's interesting because I actually worked with somebody from Fidelity and talked to them, and that was one of the first things they told me that they would require. I'm not saying that you didn't work with somebody else, but it is something. So I would urge, again, in transparency, you don't want to be called out, that the board itself would look at something like this, that it wouldn't take place again, that you would certainly address the fact that you would want that brought before the board before, it's not a $10,000 CD. We're talking about close to $500,000 if I'm reading correctly. So
I believe it was
I would strongly,
88,000.
ask the board to address that and maybe implement procedures so that that wouldn't take place perhaps again. I find it kind of odd
that
that,
says that who could do it and.
and I understand that, and
Is that
I do
a high amount?
understand that, but we've got a treasurer that was here for a matter of months, and we've got no financials that have been balanced for that matter of months. I find it hard to believe that she was concerned as far as what the rates were.
No, that was me.
Okay?
And she and I discussed it. And I don't understand why anybody is against the village people, the taxpayers making money.
I'm not, I certainly am not. You're saying $2,700, okay, but what are we paying Janet now to try to fix the mess that we are now in again, that we don't have balanced financials?
We're balanced to January.
Hold up. Kelly. Whatever.
So, my understanding was that you said as far as design work, that it would cost $1,045,000. So I divided that by 12, which was what your suggestion was, and it comes up to $87,000 a month. Well, I'm done. So, well, so instead of looking at how many hours everybody works, so why do you need to finish it within a year? What happens? What's the next?
You wouldn't be eligible for the next round of state revolving fund loan money. So we
If
need to
it's
have
not done by March 31st?
Yep. So then we would be looking at a loan application March 31st of 2028, that we wouldn't have a yes or no until July 1st of 2028, and you wouldn't be able to bid it until after that, so you would be like construction 2029. So we're just losing out on a year if we go past March 31st, 2027.
What happens on March 31st?
That's the date
You're
where
saying 2027? Is that,
Right?
are you,
A year from now?
MSA takes a year to design the wastewater treatment
Right.
facility and then uses the completed design and specifications to submit to Illinois EPA, which reviews all of that and then awards the loan. The reason we're completing the design 20 days ahead is because it takes, you need to have that included on the loan application to have a competitive loan and get awarded the money.
Yes, and I appreciate knowing that it was from the EPA, because I mean, sitting in the audience, we don't really have access to numbers, to, if we miss. I mean, I would appreciate a summary of these things. I don't know, I guess you guys have all those figures. So it would be nice for all of us to be able to look at it, even if it was in one of the books, just a summary like design work, $1,045,000, and then the next steps and the next steps. So we could put our heads together and actually support you guys in figuring out what in the world we can do to pay for this stuff. So I know the ramp, I think the ramp is dangerous, actually. And I don't see any other way to do it. But maybe we need to have, as my husband said, great sales. We need massive festivals or something going on. 87,000.
Thank you, Gloria. New business?
I know the snow's about done, but, and I hate to sound petty, but driving around town, I'm noticing that a lot of people aren't bothering to clean the sidewalks off. And according to the ordinance, after looking into it further, the snow is considered, I can't think of it, I forgot my book at home, but snow's supposed to be cleaned off your sidewalk every gallon. So,
Anybody else? Old business? session.
Get that
I'm just telling you that. Yeah, save us 42.
Quiet, please.
We need to do the motion still, if everybody can be quiet, please. Thank you.
Motion by Saul to go into closed session for employment of employees at 6:35 PM. Second.